Where's that town where we saw the zombie?
We're coming up to it.
We are?
We're coming
Because I want to go back and see if he's still there. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, so when I came out and did the original video with Peter in his ID.4, the blue one, the rear wheel drive, we're driving down the road and he starts telling me about this town. What's it called again?
It's called Blairstown.
Blairstown, where they filmed like one of the Friday the 13th movies. And as he's telling me this, some dude walking across the street, I think it was a dude, I don't know. I'm convinced it was a zombie because he walked across the street like super slow, and he didn't look like he had taken a shower for a few weeks. And
he looked like a local, unfortunately.
I don't know what it was weird. So I want to go see if he's still there, because I'd like to have lunch with him. Welcome to another episode of Out of Spec Dave, where today I find myself somewhere in New Jersey, and I got to tell you, it's beautiful out here. I love it out here. Actually, I've been here once before. This is the home of Peter Devita, who's over there, who actually had bought an ID.4, and we did a Your EV journey with him. Now, what's interesting, his neighbor, Garen, who lives across the street, he's like, hey, Peter, what's that? What is that, an electric car? And so he ended up buying this beautiful Model Y over here. So I figured, let me come out, revisit with Peter, because he's done something quite interesting. But I want to hear from Garen today about his journey of buying a Model Y. Has he always been an EV guy? I have no idea. This is the first time I'm meeting him. So let's get into it and enjoy another episode of Out of Spec Dave here, this time again in a beautiful New Jersey. So Garen, welcome to the channel. And I see right over your shoulder is your house.
Yes.
And this is Peter's house. So you guys, I hope you're friends, because you sure live close to each other. So.
Lifelong friends. Yes,
good. How long have you known Peter for?
Basically my whole life.
Wow. Peter, come out from behind the trees there. This is, it's good to see you again as well, Peter. And yeah, so Garen, tell me a little bit about what's going on here. I see you've got a Model Y. And I understand that you had, prior to the Model Y, an ID.4. Before we get into it, what I'd love to do is just kind of hear a little bit about your car. Just if you don't mind, tell me a little bit about the model, the year, how it's featured, where you got it, when you got it, and all that good stuff.
Sure. So it's a 2023 Tesla Model Y long range. Picked it up just at I believe it was the night of the price drop is when I placed the order. I was on Facebook and noticed that the price had dropped and now qualified for the tax credit. Called a buddy of mine who's purchased at least 4 Teslas, and I said, hey, do you think this is legit? And he's like, yeah, jump on it. So that night, sitting on my couch, I put down a $250 deposit and picked out this vehicle here, which was picked up at Tesla Springfield in New Jersey. And rest is history.
So how long after you placed the order was the car ready for pickup?
Too soon.
Too soon.
Too soon. It was the following week, and I got a message stating, pick a day, and they gave me, I think, 2 days to pick from in an hour window on each day, which isn't easy to coordinate when you have a full-time job and a child. So
yeah,
my wife and I took off of work, and actually Peter gave me a ride to meet my wife so we could drive down together to get it. And for the most part, it went well. We had a couple hiccups at delivery with some quality issues, but worked through them.
Right. Now, what options did you get on this car? Did you go just for the base
long range?
Base long range. Yeah. No enhanced autopilot, no FSD.
Nope.
Have you paid the $199 a month and gone for a joyride with FSD driving around?
Nope. Haven't done that yet either.
Yeah. Well, it's really interesting. I might recommend this. Now, I notice a mod on your car, and it looks pretty cool. Well, I like the sticker, first of all.
Yeah,
that's good. What's the story of the sticker here?
So,
what's going on with that?
My wife is a breast cancer survivor.
Okay.
A few years back, she was diagnosed with breast cancer, and that's in honor of her. It's actually her vehicle.
Okay.
And I have one on mine, she has one on hers, just to bring awareness.
God bless her, man. That's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah,
that's really good.
Thank you.
The real mod that I was talking about, though, is this roof line here. Tell me about that. What did you do and why?
So my wife's always liked the two-tone look, similar to what Range Rovers and other vehicles have, and she wanted to do it on the ID.4. That vehicle, not many of the shops were familiar with, so they were hesitant to do the mod. But within I would say 2 weeks of owning this vehicle, we had it in for tint on the front windows and the graphics on the vinyl graphics on the pillar.
Right, right. Interesting. Now I notice you've got an emergency light here, and I did notice your license plate. You're a fireman, and thank you both you gentlemen for your service in your life. But you know, I'm really curious about your thoughts. Maybe we don't have to talk about it now, but I had made a video recently with an individual who is actually an advisor to the state of Connecticut about what to do when there are EV fires. And I like the fact that we've got a firefighter here driving an EV and has been driving an EV, just from an awareness standpoint, because I think that there's a lot of reasons why cars catch on fire. Sometimes it's because of the batteries, and sometimes it's because somebody puts a cigarette butt down on the carpet. And when you arrive at the scene, I guess it gets a little tricky to figure out what's gonna happen. But you know, I just want to say thank you for your service as a firefighter.
Thank you.
And this looks really, really great. How many miles do you have on the car so far?
To be honest, I don't even know. We just get in and drive it. there could be probably 3,500 miles on it.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's great. And you plan on keeping this a long time?
I say that every time. I said that about the ID.4. But yeah, I would say at least a year or two.
Good.
Which is a long time for me.
Well, listen, good luck with the car. Why don't we go in for a ride? I'd love to learn more about you and your EV journey, and also tell me a little bit more about your car as you're driving it.
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right, cool.
Yep.
So, Garen, welcome to, I should say, I feel welcomed to the inside of your beautiful Model Y. Congrats. I got to put my seatbelt on. I mean, I know you're a firefighter and all that, but I've never been in the car with you.
Always, always wear your seatbelt.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I don't know how many accidents are you a NASCAR fan? No. Okay, all right, all right. So, but anyway, yeah, we can take off. I just wanted to, you know, kind of get to know you a little bit and share with our audience your journey, right? So,
Sure.
And by the way, your place is just, you know, I may come knocking on your door one night and saying, all right, I'm gonna come out, let's do a barbecue out here. This is beautiful.
Let's do it.
So yeah, so tell me a little bit about yourself as a kid when you were growing up. Were you a sports kid? Were you a tech kid? Were you a car guy? Like what were you interested in back in the day?
I was always into cars. Cars were my thing. Not so much fixing them or anything like that.
Right.
Just, you know, always admired cars. And in fact, I was dropping my daughter off before for basketball. I was thinking back, I think maybe it was 8th grade. I had a picture of a Land Rover Defender 90 in my wallet.
There you go.
Just to prevent myself from spending money so that I could buy one day.
Right.
And of course, now I can buy one and they don't exist anymore. So
yeah, you got to import those. The 90s and the 110s are amazing. Yeah. They're amazing vehicles. But now they have the new Defender. What do you think of that?
It's not the Defender 90.
You're a purist.
Yeah.
All right, I like that. I like that. All right.
So yeah, I've always been a car guy. In fact, senior year of high school, I started working full time selling cars for a Porsche, Audi, Volkswagen dealership.
Now we're talking.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and in fact, that's where I met my wife. She came in to buy a vehicle.
Oh.
And she ended up walking away with a husband. So.
Oh, that's a big purchase.
Yeah, it worked out really well.
Yeah. Did she buy a car?
Not for me, no.
All right. So you failed with the one sale, but you made another sale. All right.
Exactly.
Well, that's good. So what was what got you over? Because selling at a Porsche, Audi, Volkswagen dealer, that's usually you have to have some experience to start at those dealerships, don't you?
So what happened was I had purchased an Audi A4 from them. And I was in between jobs. They said, hey, we'd love to have you as a lot attendant on the weekend. So I said, sure, no problem. So I came in. They were real busy. I was there. I sold an Audi S4 that day. And they're like, okay, we're promoting you to sales.
That's right.
And, you know, from there, it was great. I was able to do it full-time and go to school full-time all through college. I'd step out of class to answer a phone call. I'd give customers my cell phone number.
Right.
And I'd close deals while I was at college.
What was your first car?
My first vehicle was a Volkswagen GTI VR6.
Nice.
Silver. I wish I still had that car.
6-speed?
6-speed.
Nice.
Yeah.
What color was that one?
Silver black.
Oh,
black interior.
Okay.
Had the baseball stitch and everything. It was a beautiful car.
Yeah. Yeah. Those are fun to drive. They're still even the R's now today. They're great. You know, if you get those. That's cool. So, all right. So a car guy. And have you ever owned any Porsches at all?
I have. I had a Porsche Cayenne.
Okay.
It was a V6. I picked it up pre-owned. Did real well with it. Bought it, put some 18s on it, and sold it for more money than I paid for it.
That's America. I love that.
Later,
I love doing that.
Yeah.
It's been a bit tricky, with the exception of what Peter just did. With Peter's riding along with us. I don't know if you realized he was in the back seat over there. Peter's with us, but you know, it's been a little challenging over the last 4 or 5 months as the market's tanked, but it's definitely a buyer's market right now in the used market. So what made you? When did you first start getting interested in electric vehicles?
When Peter got his ID.4.
Okay.
I knew nothing of electric vehicles, and I saw it coming down the street. And I'm like, that's gorgeous.
It is a beautiful, really nice car.
Very pretty car.
Yeah.
And then we, of course, went for a ride right away, and just the acceleration, the solidness, the turning radius is ridiculous on the ID.4. Like
is your ID.4 rear-wheel drive?
Yeah.
Okay, so then that's one of the best tightest turning radiuses of any car I've ever driven. It's amazing. And what were you driving then? As your primary vehicle?
So the car that was replaced by the ID.4 was an Audi Q3 that was purchased back by Audi due to some technical challenges on it.
Okay.
And the nice part of it was we were able to get to the front of the line for the first round of ID.4 all-wheel drives, the dual motors, and you know, due to the inconvenience of the technical issues on the Q3. They put our name on an inbound vehicle.
Okay.
And
that's great. My daughter owns and drives a Q3, so I'll be sure not to tell her about the problems that you had with yours.
Yeah.
And I'm proud of her for buying that car. It was a little more money than, you know, she was like, oh, Dad, I want to get a CX, 5, right? The Mazda, which is a great car. Yeah. And for Katie, you know, she's 24 years old. She lives by herself. I was a little concerned about her getting an EV just because of the charging infrastructure, renting an apartment, having to go to, you know, superchargers or EA stations. So she's staying away from the electric thing for now. But do you have more than one vehicle in the household?
We do. Yeah, I have a 2018 Toyota 4Runner, which I absolutely love. I just don't like fueling it up.
Yeah.
It's about 13 miles to the gallon with
is it really
a little bit of a lift and wider tires.
Oh, yeah. That I think I saw the black one. Yeah, that's a sweet ride. That's nice. But 13 miles to the gallon?
Yeah, it goes from my house to the firehouse and back.
Yeah. So tell me about, just real fast, I'm curious. Look at that tree up there.
Yeah.
It's a cell phone tower.
Yeah.
Okay, so wait, you're trying to trick me into thinking that's not a cell phone tower by putting some fake plastic branches? Actually, it didn't look bad.
It's a Christmas tree in disguise.
Yeah, I mean, you should put some lights on that thing, you know. So with you being at the firehouse, we could get the ladder truck and go up there and do the job. How long have you been a fireman?
A little over 5 years now.
Okay, is this professional or volunteer fire?
Volunteer.
Okay, great. And what do you do for a living?
I work for the Army as a small business professional.
Really?
Yeah, it's really interesting work. We get to help small businesses every day. We're basically the conduit from the small business industrial base to the government customer, and put them together and help small businesses showcase what they can do for the Army.
Wow! And so, do you do a lot of traveling?
I used to. Pre-COVID, I did.
Right.
We've moved to a virtual setting, and it's worked out really well, so that the small businesses can meet with us, they can meet with government customers, all virtually.
Oh, wow.
And save on travel and time. What used to be a 3-day event is now a 45-minute meeting, and you go back to work. So it's working really well. So
tell me, how do you like the ID.4 versus now that you have the Model Y? Where's your head on which you liked better or which you like better? I know this is your wife's car.
Yeah.
Was the ID.4 also your wife's car?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
so
both her cars.
So maybe we should have her come.
Yeah, right.
What's your wife's name?
Catherine.
Catherine, come on. We'll meet you in that. Where's that town where we saw the zombie?
We're coming up to it.
We are?
We're coming soon.
I want to go back and see if he's still there. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, so when I came out and did the original video with Peter in his ID.4, the blue one, the rear-wheel drive, we're driving down the road and he starts telling me about this town. What's it called again?
It's called Blairstown.
Blairstown, where they filmed like one of the Friday the 13th
Yeah.
movies. And as he's telling me this, some dude walking across the street, I think it was a dude, I don't know. I'm convinced it was a zombie because he walked across the street like super slow, and he didn't look like he had taken a shower for a few weeks. And
He looked like a local, unfortunately.
I don't know what I really, it was weird. So
No,
I want to go see
definitely zombie.
if he's still there, because I'd like to have lunch with him, you know, and ask him a few questions. But yeah, so your impressions of the ID.4 versus the Y, I'd love to hear that.
So initially, when we were looking into EVs, we were leaning towards a Tesla. At the time, you couldn't get them. There was, you know, months and months of waiting.
Yeah.
And, you know, with the buyback going on, we were kind of pressed for time. But by going with the ID.4, it allowed Volkswagen said, okay, we'll keep you in this car, you know, going forward until your ID.4 arrives. And then they also offered, and I have to say, Volkswagen of America is top notch when it comes to customer service, because they were very good about it. Like, hey, we acknowledge it, it's an issue.
Right.
We're going to make you whole. And then they even offered $2,500 towards another Volkswagen or Audi.
Oh, that's great.
So for us, and then there was another $500 first responder discount on the Volkswagen, and it was a no-brainer at that point.
So was that when you say Volkswagen America, was that the dealership that was accommodating, or had it gotten up to the corporate level?
It was the corporate level, because
Okay.
I should say it was Audi, Volkswagen America, kind of the same thing.
Right.
But it was Audi corporate that I
Right.
was working with on the buyback, and then Volkswagen took over on getting me the ID.4 right away to get us out of that vehicle.
So the Q3s and the Q5s have been notoriously very reliable. What was it, just out of curiosity, so I don't tell Katie, what was the problem with the Q3?
It was with the automatic, you know, when you come to a stop and the car shuts down,
Yes.
the steering wheel would lock. And then when you start to go, the steering wheel would not release.
Oh,
and you would kind of track in one way, and then it would release.
Oh.
And we had a couple of close calls where there was someone riding a bike, and you kind of...
Oh, that's a safety issue.
Yes, yeah.
Just out of curiosity, if you turned off the auto stop start, would that, the steering wheel wasn't affected at that point?
Correct.
Okay.
You'd have to every time, though.
Every time, I know.
Yeah.
It always, after you shut the car off, it remembers, because I always turn that thing off. I don't like that. As clean and smart as they've got those starter motors to be very smooth, I just always turn that thing off. All right, so now your ID.4 versus the Y. I know we went off on a little tangent there. What are your thoughts?
ID.4, great vehicle. Really loved it. It was very smooth. Acceleration was great. Seats were very comfortable. We had one of the, you know, similar to Peter, one of the early versions. In fact, you know, one of my best friends, Tony, got one. We got one the same week.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he got an ID.4 as well. We ordered, and
so you guys, this is like the disease is spreading.
Yes.
It's like one guy gets an EV. And then, what's that? Now the next guy gets an EV.
His mother also got one.
And your mom got, and your mom, really?
So what happened was, you know, Tony ordered on the same day I ordered one.
Right.
An ID.4 came in early, and our salesman said, hey, does your buddy want it? And he jumped on it, and then his order came in, and then my parents took Tony's order. At that point, they had taken off, and you couldn't get them anymore. So we had his order come in, and then my parents just picked that vehicle up instead.
Yeah.
But the challenge we were having with the ID.4 was the software update. You know, Volkswagen wasn't coming through with the software update.
Yeah.
We're in here.
And
right, the zombie was right around here. Yeah.
So, and then we started noticing some quirks with the car that could be overcome by the software update. And, you know, Tesla lowered the price of the vehicle, tax credit came into play, and it just worked out. You know, I reached out to Algo to purchase the ID.4, and they were very competitive with it, made it very easy.
Algo.
Algo. It's like a Carvana.
Okay.
Yeah, they're based out of New Jersey. And
I think I've heard of them.
Yeah, no, they were great to deal with.
Okay.
So, and they picked up the ID.4 the day after I picked up this Tesla.
Wow. So. I think you hit it right in terms of the timing. So you didn't really get hurt on the ID.4.
No,
okay.
it was essentially a net zero between the tax credits and the money received back from, or the $2,500 received from the buyback.
Right.
It basically cost me $0 to drive that car.
Oh, that's great.
Plus free charging with Electrify America.
I love to hear these stories.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not the only one doing this, right? People are like, Dave, why did you have 3 ID.4s? And the answer was, well, I bought the base one, which was rear-wheel drive, loved it. Then I wanted the fancy one with the roof, right? Because did yours was all-wheel drive? So did you have?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. All glass. Yeah.
All right. So you had the glass roof, which was great. And then I made the mistake of driving the all-wheel drive because do you detect the difference? Have you driven Peter's rear-wheel drive versus the all-wheel drive?
A little faster.
A lot faster.
Yeah.
2 seconds 0 to 60, and it feels like a different vehicle to me. But in any event, I was also, every time I was buying a new one, I was getting, the tax credit, which made it economically possible to even justify doing that. It was good. And then, just out of curiosity, were you able to double dip on the tax credit when you bought the Model Y from the state?
So I missed the state tax credit by, I think, a week on the ID.4. I was able to get the state credit on the Tesla.
Oh, so you didn't get a state tax credit on, and why was that? They weren't offering it then?
Based on when the order date was.
They had run out of money on the initial one.
Oh, they had run out of money.
They redid it, and because when he purchased the vehicle, he missed it by just a week or two.
I remember you telling me that, Peter. He missed the order.
I ordered in June, and you had to place your order in July.
Oh,
and then I picked up in October, and I had to have picked up by September.
So was it $4,000 back then, and now it's $2,000? Is it, or how did that work with the state?
It was $2,000. I think it was $2,000 or $2,500.
It was $4,000,
It was $4,000 back when you could have gotten it.
Right.
And then the state now would also be $4,000, but then there's a price limit on the price of the vehicle.
Yeah.
So it has to be, I think, $45,000 or something like that to get the full $4,000.
I see.
But you can get $2,000 if you still buy a vehicle, as long as it's an electric vehicle.
Right. Okay. Good. And then tell me, have you gone to the superchargers and charged this car versus, like, I'm just curious what your experience is at, CCS public charging versus the Tesla superchargers?
So that was another main reason that I wanted to switch over to Tesla's for their Tesla charging network. Typically, we don't really utilize it very often. Like with the ID.4, I think I use Electrify America maybe 3 times. Of that was a trip to Vermont, which we would stop and charge in Albany, made it to Killington, charged there for free, and then back in Albany, and then home again.
Right.
With the Tesla, we haven't had to yet because of the long range. It's the 330-mile range. We have a level 2 charger at home.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much we just plug it in, we get home, and it's good to go in the morning. There was a time, though, while this was getting looked at the Tesla Repair Center, I had a loaner car that I guess I put it in and didn't seat it all the way in, and I didn't get a notification. So we had to do a supercharge. We were pretty low.
I see.
And Peter was with me, and we went to the Wawa nearby, which is nice because there's a lot more opportunities to charge with the Tesla.
Yeah.
And I think from like 20% to 80 or 90, it took maybe 35 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, well, this car will charge at a peak rate of 250 kilowatts, and then it'll taper after that. And then, one of the other things you can buy for this car, and I think they just lowered the price on the CCS Combo 1 adapter, which will allow you to go to any CCS charger. So in addition to the Tesla networks, you can go out to let's say EA or any charge point or EVgo.
Yeah.
And the adapter now is only $175. So it used to be $250. I paid $250 for mine, and I just saw that they lowered the price on that. So for anybody that's got a Tesla that is capable of CCS charging, so you have to look in your menu under the software not update, but to see if your car is CCS capable. If it isn't, I believe there's a retrofit that you can for some of the older cars, but this is a 2023, absolutely is.
Yeah.
And that's a nice thing to have if you go on a long trip, just in case. Now, Tesla superchargers are everywhere.
Yeah.
But sometimes, especially as more and more people are buying EVs today, you may pull into a supercharger and there could be a wait, especially on a holiday weekend. So having the flexibility, and it's not a very big unit or all that. All right, so good. So now, so you're loving the Y.
Yeah, I love it.
If you had a choice, in the ID.4 all-wheel drive were in the driveway, and the Y were in the driveway, which would you get in and why?
Tesla Model Y.
Ooh, wow, wait, you didn't hesitate there. Wow. Okay. So tell me why.
Just
I mean, I didn't mean that like why. Tell me WHY. Tell me why.
Just the driving experience. It's smoother, faster. The seats are more comfortable. I thought the ID.4 had the most comfortable seats, but the Model Y has just the way the lumbar support on my back. It's really comfortable.
Right.
It's larger. You fit more things in it.
It is larger. This vehicle.
Yep.
Okay. Interesting.
It's slightly larger. I didn't realize it until we pulled in the garage and noticed how much more room it
Interesting.
took up.
Okay.
I will say I do miss the sensors. The vehicle, like when this vehicle was produced, it did not have the sensors in it.
Yeah. 2023's Model 3s and Ys. I guess Tesla's pulling features back on the car. So this is for the ADAS system for autopilot. It's only vision based.
Yeah.
They've taken the radar off there. How have you? So from a parking standpoint, when you pull in, I was just talking about this the other day when I bought my Model 3, the LFP, with the rear-wheel drive one. I didn't realize I wasn't getting sensors anymore. So when I pulled it into the garage the other day, I said, "Wait a minute, how far up am I?" And I was like, "I don't know. I'm going to have to put." You remember when you put the string with the tennis ball on it, right?
Yeah.
You know, I always used to do that, and I think I'm going to have to revert back to that. But it seems crazy. How much could they save by not doing that? I mean, like, what the heck?
That makes no sense.
Come on, guys.
You had it, so why did you do?
Come on, Tesla, put it back in the damn car.
Yeah,
all right,
exactly.
you know, like I'm gonna hit my shelves in my garage, and oh boy.
Everything I've been hearing is that they're going to adapt it with cameras. Somehow they're going to incorporate it through the camera system.
I don't know. What have you used much of the autopilot feature on the highways at all?
No, I'm kind of, when it comes to driving, I'm not a good passenger, so I tend to like to be in
You like
control
to
of the
you like
vehicle.
to drive.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You know, it's funny. I was using the autopilot out here today, Peter, from Connecticut. It's just so good. I mean, it really. I still keep my hands on the wheel for the most part. That's a pretty. Is that a house?
It's an animal hospital.
An animal mansion.
Yeah.
Wow. Bailey would like that. She should go in there on vacation. Plus, she'd have doctors right there.
That's 200 years old then.
Is it really? That's spectacular.
Out here, this is basically where the Revolutionary War was fought.
Oh,
A
wow.
lot out here.
Huh.
So some of these homes, this was actually a stagecoach route at one time, this highway.
Oh,
So homes like that were put up for places for people to stay overnight and things. So that's actually what that is.
that's
and
beautiful.
it was left not abandoned, but it was left in disrepair for a long time. And this veterinarian came along and he redid it, and it's gorgeous now.
Boy,
Did the whole place all over.
he must be doing pretty well because
Veterinarians do well.
they do. Yeah.
No insurance, and they bleed
Right.
you.
No insurance. Right.
They bleed you dry.
Yeah, I know. Like if Bailey needed anything, I'd be like, yes.
You do
I'd be
it
like,
before
right, I don't care.
Yeah.
Write the check. I don't
Exactly.
care. Wait, she's gonna live 3 days longer? Write the check. I don't care. You know, it's
you'll
just-
go to the doctor for her before you go
I
to
mean,
the doctor for yourself.
I feed my dog better than I feed myself. You know, it's like, no, Bailey, you can't have that.
And the vets know that.
Yeah, and they do know that. So, well, listen, I have one other quick question I tend to ask people. If money were no object, and you could buy any, and I will stipulate, EV, which car would you get? Or do you already have it?
I have.
There you go.
Yeah, there's no other EV. I do have my name on a list for a Cybertruck, but that would become my car, and then my wife would still maintain this vehicle.
So Cybertruck from 4Runner.
I don't know if I'd part with the 4Runner either, though.
Really?
Yeah, I love that truck.
I mean, if you pulled up to a fire in a Cybertruck,
That would be
the
pretty
fire would just go out.
Yeah.
It would be like, what is that? You know, it'd be like, okay, I hear you, you know? Well, Garen, thank you so much. This has been great. Any last words or of advice for those people that are thinking about making the switch from a gas or diesel powered car to an electric vehicle?
Don't hesitate. I don't regret it one bit. I'll always have at least one EV in my garage, if not two. So if you're thinking of it, don't hesitate.
All right, good. Well, listen, everyone, thanks again for watching another episode of Out of Spec Dave. Garen, thank you so much. Peter,
Yeah,
thank you for not sitting behind me because your legs would be crushed.
Yeah, we would be a little
you
tight
know,
squeeze.
but listen, this has been great. I'm really proud of you for making the switch, not hesitating. When you saw the liquidity on the screen, you pounced on it,
Yeah.
and then you got the car. No regrets. The deal is just insane right now on these Teslas, so grab them while you can, because you never know with Tesla. They might raise the price by 13 grand one night, and then the 7,500 might be gone. Yeah. You just never know. So anyway, everyone take care. Have a great day. Thanks again. We'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.